Welcome back, tribe. It's your girl Michelle here. Today we're going to be diving into all of the amazing horror movies I was able to watch for June 2021. I feel like the past year, and this one included, 20 and 21, have just been like actual shit shows. So I feel like one way for me personally to kind of escape and enjoy life again is to just sit my ass down in front of the TV from time to time and take in a beautiful, wonderful, chaotic, psychotic mess of a horror film. And I'm just gonna give you guys a quick rundown and little tidbits of reviews of what I saw. So let's dive into this. So I actually subscribe to several different streaming services. I have HBO Max, Amazon Prime, and Netflix and Shudder. Now, one thing that I've noticed is I haven't really been able to stream directly from Shudder through me and my boyfriend's PS4. But I think I may have finally found a way around that because I am an Amazon Prime member. When you are a Prime member, you can go through and on Amazon Prime, you can add Shudder as a channel. I just haven't found a way to add my already existing Shudder subscription to my Amazon Prime yet because it keeps asking me to start a whole new one. So I may have to wait until my current Shudder subscription runs out, which sucks because it's like a year long, before I can renew it through my Amazon Prime account. And that way you can stream through the PS4 because Amazon Prime Video is able to stream through the PS4. It's a whole bunch of crazy fucked up shit, honestly, and it pisses me off, but it is what it is. So let's just start with our Amazon Prime picks for June 2021. First up, and I may be butchering this name, you have to remember I'm from Texas, so I'm allowed. Train to Busan. I think it's Busan, it looks like Busan. They kind of say Busan in the movie, so anyway. Now, Train to Busan is a foreign film, and honestly, I really enjoy foreign horror because it is exciting to kind of see how different cultures view the genre of horror or view certain things as scary and terrifying. And honestly, most of the time, foreign horror films are usually the ones that will like stay with me longer than I need them to and like seriously disturb me. So of course I had to give it a try. Now, I'm not big on zombies. I'm really just not a huge zombie fan. I will watch zombies. You know, I do love The Walking Dead, or I used to. I stopped watching The Walking Dead after season 5, so I have no idea what's been happening. But I loved it up until then. Anyway, sidetracked much? Train to Busan was fantastic. I loved it so much. The acting was amazing. The portrayal of zombies was amazing. The storyline was amazing. There is apparently a prequel, I believe. I don't know if it's a prequel or if it's just like a side story that's in the same universe as Train to Busan. But apparently there's another movie regarding that same universe up on Shudder right now. I don't remember what it's called, so if you guys know what it's called, comment that down below. I am meaning to look it up and watch it one of these days. I just haven't really had time here lately. But anyway, Train to Busan, right? So you have a father who is taking the train with his daughter to go and visit her mom. Kind of a nasty divorce situation going on. I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything like that because I do really want you guys to go watch it yourselves if you haven't already. If you have already watched it, comment down below what you thought about it. Yay or nay. I loved it. I thought I just thought everything about it was good. It was great storytelling. It was great character building. The ending was like sad but also somewhat wholesome in a way. So it was just all around a good fucking time, and it kind of made me excited about the zombie genre again, which I have not been excited about the zombie genre since the first season of Walking Dead came out. So it's been a hot minute before I gave two shites about anything to do with zombies. So I really enjoyed it. If you yourself are feeling like you're in kind of a zombie slump and you just don't really like want much to do with that subgenre of horror, I still encourage you to give this movie a shot because it honestly was that good. It just was. Moving on, another movie that kind of piqued my interest due to the poster artwork was Mercy Black, and that was also free on Amazon Prime if you are a Prime member. If you're not a Prime member, I'm pretty sure you have to pay something to rent it or own it, but it is free with your Prime membership as of, you know, the beginning of this month. I know sometimes they switch out, but anyway, Mercy Black was Mercy Black was interesting. Okay, so you have like this storyline of our main character as a child being part of what honestly to me sounded like the Slender Man murders, except obviously Slender Man is not a part of the story. It just seems like they took the Slender Man murders and stole that and placed it in this new thing and just kind of gave it a new monster and a new name. So that was kind of a downer because I do love Slender Man. I have enjoyed every Slender Man movie I've ever seen. I've only seen 2 of them though. So if there are like some really cool Slender Man movies that you guys have seen or documentaries, list them down below so I can kind of check those out too because I fucking love Slender Man. I own the movie Slender Man. I know a lot of people hated it. It is pretty cheesy, like I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty hokey. It's not exactly scary, but I really enjoyed some of the elements to the movie. But anyway, Mercy Black is, you kind of have like this childhood trauma. This girl was a part of this murder. I'm not going to spoil anything, which is why I say murder. And she goes through a whole lifetime of therapy and all this shit, and she had to like be locked away for a little while. And then we're entering her story as an adult when she's coming back out to live with her sister. And now all of a sudden all this weird paranormal shit is kicking up and her nephew is starting to like reference and talk about Mercy Black, and it was just very weird. I do enjoy like the kind of creature feature Slender Man vibes that it gave, but it definitely was not Slender Man. So I would give it like maybe 3 out of 5 stars, just because like the storyline and plot were there, like they were good, and the acting was actually not half bad. It was just, I don't know, it just seemed like there was something lacking to it, in my opinion. But again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, so go check it out if you feel like it. So in preparation to watch The Conjuring 3, Netflix actually put out, I believe, The Conjuring 1 and 2. So that was pretty cool. I own all of the Conjuring universe movies because I am that obsessed with it. So I didn't exactly need to watch them on Netflix, but I don't know if they're still on there or not, because Netflix does tend to like siphon through movies, especially really popular movies, pretty quickly. So it might be gone by the time you guys are seeing this video. I don't know. But they did have The Conjuring 1 and 2 on there, which you guys know I absolutely adore those movies. So I did end up watching The Conjuring 1 with my boyfriend and my best friend in preparation to watch The Conjuring 3, which I streamed on HBO Max. Can we just dive into The Conjuring 3 for a second? Like, just give me my time, just give me my moment. First of all, I am a diehard fan of the Conjuring universe, period. Point blank, period. The first Conjuring movie established my lifelong devotion to this franchise. So even though I didn't particularly love The Conjuring 3, I still loved The Conjuring 3. Okay, because I mean, I know that some of you guys know and you understand, like when you kind of become part of a fan base, whether it's for like your favorite TV show or a movie franchise or book series or something, you know what it feels like when like maybe, or like for instance, bands, when you're a die-hard fan of a certain band, which I am of Disturbed, right? Disturbed is like my band. I have loved them since the 8th grade. I have a Disturbed tattoo. That is my lifelong band. There will never be an album I don't buy or listen to. So, but there are certainly albums of theirs that I didn't really love. Like I didn't really care for. I was like, oh, okay, well it's Disturbed. I'll listen to them. I'll support them always. But I'm not in love with it. And that's kind of how I felt about The Conjuring 3. You know, like, I love the actors. I love their play on each other. I loved that this story had, like, nothing to do with Annabelle or the whole Valak thing. I'm glad that they finally closed the door on those two as far as being a part of the Conjuring movies. It was nice to get a little bit of breath of fresh air, a new case, something different. I kind of wish they had gone with a different case. There are so many Ed and Lorraine Warren cases that they could have picked from that I feel like would be so much more interesting and action-packed. I feel like Hollywood could do so much more with it than they did with this particular case, but I'm not mad at it. And in fact, that probably means that they're saving those cases for a little bit later, because this is a franchise that I predict will go on for at least a couple more movies with The Conjuring. Now, Annabelle, I don't know if they're going to continue any Annabelle movies. In my opinion, they don't need to. In my opinion, Annabelle is finito. And obviously, Valak and the Nun, finito. I would be interested in possibly seeing a little more of La Llorona, but that's just me. I don't know. But as far as The Conjuring, I feel like they're gonna go a couple more movies into this franchise at least. So I am interested in continuing with the franchise. I will never hate it. I will never not support it. But this one wasn't quite my favorite. But it was very interesting, like as far as the case itself. I feel like with this case, Hollywood had to do a lot more as far as like building up an origin story and making it more action-packed and giving us a little more visual intrigue and interest. I feel like Hollywood had to do a lot more with this case than it did with the previous ones, because it wasn't, and I hate to say it because it sounds really shitty, but it really wasn't that interesting of a case, in my opinion. But anyway, that was my thoughts on The Conjuring 3. What did you guys think? I know most of you saw it. So what did you think? What were your likes? What were your dislikes? Comment down below. Anyway, now one movie that I did actually watch on Shudder was Blood Vessel. And me and my boyfriend sat down and watched it. It was very interesting. It was very hokey. It was very cheesy, but I kind of loved it. Like, I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was, which in my day we referred to as a sci-fi original, because, you know, sci-fi used to have like all the B horror movies on it. And if you love the horror genre, then you also love, even if it's begrudgingly, you love the B horror cheesy ass flicks too. Like, they're just fun. They're just fun. Blood Vessel was very fun. I mean, you're basically throwing World War II survivors into the ocean to find a Nazi ship that's been abandoned, and then they climb on board only to discover something so ridiculous and so you just can't help but fall in love with it. Like, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. There is very, like, a creature feature thing. There's a lot of isolation horror because they are, like, trapped out at sea on this abandoned Nazi vessel. It's just fun. Like, I just thought it was fun as hell, man. I really did. I dug it. I dug Blood Vessel. I give it a thumbs up, but just go into it knowing it's, like, super cheesy. Yeah. Now, one movie I really wanted to rewatch this month, and I don't really know why. I was flipping through my DVDs one day because I just felt like actually watching a DVD, because ever since I started doing all the streaming services, I've totally forgotten what all movies I own, for crying out loud. And I saw the other day that Netflix did have Insidious 1 and 2 as well, and I own Insidious 1, 2, and 3. I feel like there is a fourth one. I might have to look this shit up because now I've forgotten, but I feel like there is a fourth one. I can't remember if Insidious 3 was the last key or if that was the fourth one. What the fuck ever, you guys know. We love Insidious in my world. I love the Insidious franchise. So I did sit down and watch the first Insidious again. Still love it. It's still awesome. I love that guy. I love him. I love him in the Insidious franchise. I love him in the Conjuring franchise. I just love him. Who would have thought he would have done so well in the horror genre? Because the first time I ever saw him, and I'm just saying him because I don't remember his name, I'll insert it here. The first time I ever saw him was in the Phantom of the Opera. And don't get me wrong, he can sing, he has a lovely voice, but I was just kind of like, who is this? Like, why? And of course, I hated him in that movie because I love the Phantom, and he's like the antagonist of the Phantom, so I'm just like, I hate you. Then all of a sudden he busts on to the horror scene, and I'm like, I love you. But whatever. Anyway, love the Insidious franchise. If you haven't given it a chance, I encourage you to. It's definitely like mixed reviews. Like some people that you've probably watched before has probably said that they hated it. I just really enjoyed it. It was fresh. It was a fresh idea. It was new at the time. Not many people were ever really doing movies about like astral projection and all this shit. So I really thought that was cool. I liked it a lot. Another movie that I had to go back and watch because it's like the beginning of summer. Me and my boyfriend have periodically been going down to the Galveston beach and just kind of popping up. And every time I go to the beach, the first movie that pops into my head is Jaws. Yes, Jaws. I love Jaws. Every time I rewatch Jaws, it's like somehow my mind forgot how fucking brilliant of a movie it was. And I'm just like, I just get giddy when I rewatch Jaws. And I've seen that movie probably 50 plus times. Like, holy shit, I've seen that movie a lot. But every time I rewatch it, that is a movie I will always keep as DVD or Blu-ray or what the hell ever comes next. I will always have a hard copy of Jaws 1, 2, and the fourth one because Jaws 3 doesn't fucking exist in my book. It was horrible. It was a piece of shit. It was like Halloween 3. Like, why? I got a little aggressive there. But anyway, back to reality. But the Jaws series is fucking brilliant. It is amazing. I do want to go and read the actual book because I've never read the book. But a lot of people did not like the book. So I'm going to go in with my expectations down here. But with the comforting knowledge that the movie is absolutely brilliant, so it doesn't really fucking matter if the book does not stand up to the hype of the movie. So whatever. And last but not least, on Netflix, me, my boyfriend, and one of his best friends sat down and watched Geralds Game. I will never get over that movie. It will never happen. I have been scarred by that movie. In a good way. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. Like, going throughout the movie, like I never read the book, and I definitely want to read the book now. I never read the book just because the synopsis sounded so fucking boring. Like, really, we're gonna sit here for hundreds of pages with some chick who's tied to a bed because her husband was kinking around on her and died. And that's not a spoiler. Like, you can read that in the synopsis of the movie, the book, it's not a spoiler. So I never understood how this story could possibly be interesting in the least. With, like, there's nothing to build off, but then there I go again, underestimating the brilliance of Stephen King. So I do eventually want to sit down and read that book. It's not high on my priority list, but now that I've seen the movie, and I'm sure the movie only touches like just very skin deep, like just barely in there compared to what Stephen King probably created in the book, but it was so disturbing, like psychologically disturbing. It's very slow paced. So if you're looking at this like, oh yeah, I want like a horror movie that's action-packed with like all this shit going on, this is not the movie for you. Gerald's Game is very psychological. It's a slow burn, but it captivated me. Like, it kept my interest very well. I loved the actors and actresses that they chose for the movie. Yeah, I just loved it. Like, there's some symbolism in the movie that I don't even know, like, if maybe my mind has just created it or maybe it was supposed to be there. I don't know. That's what's so awesome about Stephen King's stories. But there's just so much. And then there is like a twist at the end where it's like one of those twists that it's not super like crazy of a twist, but it's one of those twists that just leaves you deeply disturbed and unsettled, and it's definitely a movie that lingered with me for a day or two after watching it. I will rewatch it again. I may actually seek it out to purchase because I really enjoyed it to that level. So if you like kind of slow burn psychological horror, this is definitely one I would encourage you to check out. I enjoyed it a lot. I would give it at least 4.5 stars out of 5. But yeah, I loved it. I definitely loved it. So let's recap real quick. We have Train to Busan. I'm giving that fucker a 5 out of 5 stars. Mwah, mwah. It was brilliant. I loved it. We have Mercy Black. I'd give it about a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was decent. Like the plot and the storyline were great. The main actress, I really enjoyed her, but everything else was just kind of like, meh. All right. Then we have The Conjuring universe and The Conjuring 3. The Conjuring universe always gets a 5 out of 5 because it's everything I've ever needed. The Conjuring 3 as a standalone, I would probably give a 4 out of 5 just because it is very solid. I still love it to death because hello, I'm obsessed. But it's just not my absolute favorite. It's just not really up there with the other ones in my opinion. Because all the Conjuring 1 and 2, I give 5 out of 5 all the way, all day. Then we have Blood Vessel from Shudder. I would honestly give that one a 4 out of 5, just because like if you go into it with the knowledge that this is a cheesy B horror film, then you'll enjoy it. But if you don't like that style of movie, or if you go into it thinking this is genuinely going to be scary, you'll hate it. Of course, Insidious 1, I give a 4.5 out of 5. I love it. I actually enjoyed Insidious 2 more, which is weird because I usually do not enjoy sequels more than the originals. But I actually did. I enjoyed Insidious 2 more, and I think I actually enjoyed Insidious 3 about the same as the first Insidious. But anyway, the Insidious franchise as a whole, I give 5 out of 5 just because it kept me interested. I did enjoy it. If they ever go back and make more of it in the future, I'll probably watch it. Jaws always gives a 5 out of 5. No, Jaws gets a 6 out of 5 because it's that fucking good. And you can fight me all day on that because I don't give a shit about your opinion when it comes to Jaws. It's amazing. I'm that passionate about it. Anyway. And then finally, Geralds Game. I would give it a solid 4.5 and almost a 5 out of 5. Like if there's certain elements to it that I was just kind of like, eh. But I feel like this is a movie that I will continue to rewatch year after year because it's one that the more you watch it, the more you're gonna digest and understand what the fuck is going on. So I would say 4.5 to 5 range in Gerald's Game as well. So really no stinkers. I'm very happy with the horror movies that I have watched here in June of 2021. So let me know what you guys have been watching, and it doesn't have to be horror, just anything, any kind of movies that you've really enjoyed here lately, any movies you think I would enjoy that I haven't mentioned here today. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because we obviously need you. And I will see you guys next time.